There comes a point within all of our lives where we have to ask ourselves one question: have I been abducted by aliens? It all started for me back in 1988. My grandpa told me he'd take me a TV special that was called UFO Cover Up Live. And it was this long program, had all kinds of stuff to do about UFOs. Had 800 number, some kind of number you could call to report your experience, if you had any. Had all these ufologists, witnesses, you name it. Anyway, I thought, okay, neat. I knew what UFOs were about, or what they were. I knew that supposedly there were aliens that were possibly flying around our skies and all that. Well, it got to this part where it's talking about alien abduction, and it showed these really creepy paintings of the gray aliens, typical, big head, big black eyes, all this stuff. Freaked me out. I'd never seen one before, and I was terrified. And that really kind of set the stage for basically the rest of my life from then. I started getting really scared at night, started having a lot of trouble sleeping. I started reading every book I could on UFOs. In my school, down in Elizabethtown, Illinois, all of Hardin County went to the same school. This podunk school had tons of books on this stuff. And I read everything I could. I watched every TV special, Unsolved Mysteries, anything about UFOs. That, of course, would scare the crap out of me. Aside from the subject matter, the theme music, it all built up. Be scared to death after watching that show. And I watched it every week. But, and later on, I started realizing I exhibited some of the abductee behaviors. Like I wanted to sleep with my bed against the wall. I was scared to look out of windows at night. My grandpa even told me when I was a kid I wanted to have the curtain shut. We had this big bay window in the kitchen. I'd walk by it at night, I'd stare at it, and I'd be scared to walk by it. And anytime when I was driving in the car or whatever, I was always looking in the sky, hoping to see something, but knowing if I did, that'd be the end of sleep for a night or two. So anyway, after years of heavily absorbing all I could on the UFO phenomenon, it comes to Halloween of 1996. In my house, I lived with my grandparents. I slept on the middle floor. They slept in the upstairs. Well, they'd been painting on the middle floor, and the ceilings on the middle floor, so everything was covered in sheets and everything. So I had to sleep in one of the upstairs beds with my grandma. And I remember I woke up in the middle of the night. It was 1 something in the morning, and I roll over, and I see what appears to be a gray alien. And that was the scariest moment of my life. I was almost killed in a car wreck when I was 18. We flipped a Ford Explorer full speed 3 times, and I was thrown out. And I made more peace with the fact that I was going to die when I thought I was going to die, being thrown around that wreck. I made complete peace with that. But this alien, no way. There was no coming to terms with what I was seeing. I was scared to death. My heart, I thought it felt like a jackhammer in my chest. And I realized I wasn't paralyzed. I knew from hearing stuff, you'll wake up, you'll be paralyzed, and then you'll go onto the ship, or you'll black out, or whatever. But I wasn't paralyzed. And I got squinting eyes, so I did one of these numbers to where it looked like my eyes were closed, and but they're wide open. Like right now, I can. Anyway, and I'm thinking, well, it probably knows I'm awake anyway. But I'm 15 years old and trying to do anything I can to outsmart this damn thing. So I roll over and I'm debating on whether I should wake my grandma up, and I also know that if it's there, no one else will probably wake up, because usually in these cases, you can't wake anyone else up. And the power was still on. I know sometimes there's no power when they come, but anyway, and I knew all these things. I realized all this in the moment, so Um, so at this point, I'd rolled back over toward my grandma. I'm like, I'm gonna make sure I'm not seeing shit. So I roll back over, eyes squinting and all that, trying to act like I'm asleep. It's still there. So I'm really kind of going into this panic mode. And I roll back over. I'm trying to act like I'm just tossing and turning or whatever, trying to sleep. And, so I'm facing my grandma again for a minute. Turn back around. It's still there. And I don't remember how many times I kept looking back. I think it was 3 times. And I know about the 4th time, it was gone. I looked over and it was just gone. And I've heard stories about them disappearing like that because supposedly they changed dimensions and all that. And it would have been a little bit before that point in time. Another one of these abductee signs is I'd wake up in the middle of the night with horrific nosebleeds. And I remember I'm pretty sure that whenever that started, it was before that. It was not long before that incident. And I might have had a couple after that years later, but around that time was whenever that was really happening, but eventually that stopped. But anyway, it's something I've lived with my whole life, and throughout my high school years, I don't remember what it was like for a little while after I saw that thing that night. I'm assuming I was very scared still, because I still this day get freaked out thinking about that stuff. And through high school, I stopped worrying about it and actually being able to sleep at night. Because growing up, I didn't sleep well at all. From the time I saw that TV program till high school, I did not sleep well at all. Scared to death of these things. That I was going to see them, and eventually one night I did. And high school, I kind of forgot about it. In college, and then about my mid-20s, I started picking up interest again. Read a little bit, look around online some. It kind of comes and goes, my interest in it, but I'm by no means an expert, but I've read so much of the same crap at this point. I don't take a whole lot of interest in it. I mean, I do take interest, I just don't. I still try to read into it, but it's the same crap over and over. But, and I'm not the only one in my family who's seen one of these. And I'm not going to tell the story, but I have someone in my family who told me themselves about encountering one of these things when on a military base when they were in the Army, that turned into quite a bizarre event. But I'm not going to say who it was or tell the story for a couple of reasons. But anyway, that's my story. Saw a TV special, knew everything I could about UFOs, scared to death every night I was going to run into one of these gray aliens, and bam, sure enough, it happened. And it's something I haven't told a lot of people about, but I'm talking about it now. It's something that I've told some people about it, and close friends of mine knew I was always really into the UFO thing. But anyway, that's the bottom line. I've seen one. I've always believed they're here. My cousin saw one and was part of a military thing that got hush-hushed on. So, anyway, I am officially now one of those redneck UFO lunatics. By the way, I've never claimed to be abducted. I don't know if I ever was. But I do know what I saw, and I was very much awake for it. So anyway, till next time.